guys, welcome to Scrap Heap. Today, we're doing something a little bit different, except it's exactly the same because we're working on a bike. So this right here is my BMX. It's just an old Walmart one. I got it for free, and it's got a real edgy name. It's the Rage Thruster Freestyle. Today, we're gonna maybe try to get those stickers off if they'll come off. We're gonna fix these pedals that don't like to roll and don't like to coast at all, and then see if we can't fix the brakes. Should be a pretty interesting video if nothing else. We're gonna start out here trying to oil everything, and if everything takes oil like it should, hopefully it does, we'll start working on the brakes, because as you can see right here, it doesn't want to coast barely at all. It shouldn't do that. So I have some oil here. It's just regular engine oil, and we're going to take and just lube up all those parts that move. We're going to try to pedal it backwards as hard as we can, get that broke loose here. Because if we can't get this broke loose, that pretty much ends the video here. Because if you can't coast freely on a BMX, it's gonna eat up a lot of your speed, and it's just not what you want really. You're gonna be pedaling down the street, going for a jump, and you're not gonna get enough speed, and you're gonna eat it and probably get hurt. So you want to make sure everything's pedaling like it should, which already it's starting to look better. So I figure if we just keep oiling it, it should get better. Chain is also too tight. Normally, I don't recommend hitting your bike with a hammer. For this particular instance, it's so rusted you kind of have to, because I can't get the bolt loose, and I don't have a torch or anything to try to heat it up. If you have a torch, heat it up. It'll help. But I don't have one, so I'm just going to hit it with a hammer. Now that we've got that broke loose and it's coasting about how it should, we're going to oil up the chain. So you can take your oil can or WD-40 or whatever. You're going to take it, and as you pedal this, you just want to douse it. This one's especially bad. Normally, you just want to put just a dab on each link, but where this one's so old and where it's been sitting in the mud and the dirt its whole life, I like to douse it. Now, keep in mind, dousing it in this oil is also going to help it collect particulates. So if you're riding in a wooded area or a dusty area or something like that, it's going to pick up every single bit of that. So that's just something to think about, because that could wear out your chain a whole lot faster. But as long as you maintain it every now and then, this one clearly was not. It got a tree dropped on it. Somehow did not bend the frame because it just pressed it into the mud. But this one has not been well taken care of because it's been sitting at my parents' house since 2020, I think. But it's just a good idea to oil up your chain. Dry chain can be worse than a dirty chain. But if you're worried about it too much, you can always take a toothbrush. I like to take 2 toothbrushes, tape them together where the bristles are facing each other, put it on either side of this, and just crank it. Because what it'll do is it'll brush off both those sides, and since, toothbrush is meant to be in your teeth, it fits perfectly in a chain. So that works out real nice. Now that we've got our chain all lubed up, we're gonna start working on the brakes. Another thing I like to do, especially on a BMX bike, take off your kickstand. Now, if you use your kickstand a lot, like some people do, it could be useful, but I don't like keeping it on when I'm doing tricks, because I have fallen so many times and come really close to getting impaled. So if you're really, really getting into it, real dedicated, this can be a health concern. By health concern, I mean, impaling your kidney. But it's not a huge risk if you're not planning on falling. But nobody really plans to fall. They just fall. So if you're just riding it, I would keep it on. If you are planning on doing any kind of stunting or tricks, I would highly recommend taking it off, because all that's going to do is, if you fall, that's another thing to hit you, and can be really dangerous, because that's a pretty small pointy end there, and small pointy ends like to stab. So I would definitely recommend taking this off pretty much immediately, whether it be a new one or whatever, because that right there can go right in you. Couldn't get it, broke loose, so we're just going to remove the whole thing. I would highly recommend, if you guys ever plan on restoring bikes, try not to let them sit for as long as this one has, in the conditions this one sat in. I don't believe I ever washed this, ever, which does not help the condition it's in, but could be a whole lot worse. So we're just going to get this brake taken off here. Just, that's extra weight. That ain't even working. We may replace it at some point. That point is not today. That point is probably never. I'm not very good at remembering things, but that's fine. As long as we can get this taken off here, we'll do a rundown of it, make sure the headset's tight, and take it for a ride. I don't want to leave this on here, because it'd be my luck what I'd do is I'd go to try to pull the brake, only to realize it ain't there. So we're going to remove it to add a little bit less clutter to the cockpit here. Should make it a whole lot better. Just got it taken off, and that's the original color there. Used to be real pretty. That's what it is now. That's what it used to be. So maybe we'll see more once we start taking the rest of this crap off. Brakes taken off. Now we just got to pump up the tires, lower the seat. Tighten this up right here, make sure everything's straight and ready to go. Tune up the front brake a little bit, and should be good to take it for a ride. Alright, bike is done, as far as I know. Couldn't get the stickers off. Tried. Pedals are all lubed up. They move about as smooth as they'll get. Coast backwards. Both wheels roll smoothly. They're holding there, which is good. The headset is nice and tight. We had to remove the back brake because it was seized, but we still got the front one, so that's something. A lot of BMX riders don't even use brakes, but I'm not a lot of BMX riders. I am not very good, so I like to have a brake. And saddle set down, so we should be good to take it for a ride. Well, it's raining, but we're here, so we're going to do it anyway. A little bit muddy, and can't get up enough speed because I'm sinking into the ground. Watching the video, leave a like if you want to see more like this. If you don't like what you see, hit the dislike. I'm gonna try to start uploading more often. No, it's been a little bit, a huge 3-week gap between videos, but we're gonna do a little bit more with that BMX. We're gonna see if we can take it urban free riding through town. Once it dries up a little bit more, we'll take it on that pump track. Comment what you guys want to see down below, and see you in the next video.